Cold rain and thick fog. Maybe it's just the time of year, but I couldn't help but notice how oppressive the atmosphere here was. And yet, despite all of that, it was quite surprising to me that almost every single person here was happy. Perhaps we're all just society's crazy rejects. Or maybe something about living here, living so close to life's edge, makes you really appreciate things more. Or maybe it was a bit of both. Who could really tell? Though the day was still young, my journey was going to take me further into the zone than I had previously gone. So there was no point in wasting time. I started out from the village, this time with my new SK ass in hand. Okay, good to know. The SKS doesn't do jack shit to these things. I think they're called fleshes, or flesh, I guess. I read somewhere that they used to be ordinary pigs, before being mutated by the catastrophe. God damn, they truly are a perversion of nature, aren't they? So I slopped back to the ties. I felt pretty confident I would run into more of these fleshes before any hostile humans. I ended up walking right into an anomalous zone. So I figured, why the hell not? Let's see if I could find one of those artifacts. Sure enough, when I pulled out my echo detector, it started to beep. There was something close. I carefully inched my way forward. Oh, God. Oh, God. Don't think I'll ever get used to this radiation feeling, though. Gotcha. Shit. Oh, God. Of course, I tried to rush it and get out quick. I know, stupid, right? That's how you die here in the zone. So I checked out what I got. Looked like a beacon, a mostly worthless artifact, unless you were trying to produce another. But this one also had the added benefit of not wanting to go into the frickin' lead container. And yes, I know. If I actually read things, I would know that this artifact isn't radioactive, and therefore does not need to go into the lead container. I know, I'm stupid sometimes. Just deal with it. I'm starting to feel like a pill junkie. But with all the hurt I kept putting my body through, it really was necessary. Even on dreary days such as these, this place really could be beautiful. There's just something about nature. Even radioactive, mutated nature. Although, I could go for it not trying to kill me every 2 seconds. The cold rain was really starting to get to me. So I lit a fire just for a bit before I continued on to my journey. I was getting close now. Just a bit further and I would be in the meadow. The rain may have stopped, but in its place was twice as much fog, really giving this place a ghostly feeling. I'd been in the destroyed buildings and the decaying remnants of the old world before, but this place felt different. The other places all felt empty, whereas this place felt, I don't know, haunted, I guess. I could almost feel the lost souls still wandering, still looking for a way out of their purgatory. Their presence was palpable as I began to check the houses for anything to salvage. There were a few things here and there, but overall, not much. And so the process went on. Enter house, break open boxes, and take what you can. The unwritten rule of finders keepers was the law here in the zone. My objective was close now, just up the hill. As I crested the hill, I came across another compound. The place was covered in electro-anomalies. I thought there had to be another artifact nearby. I put away my flashlight and pulled out the echo detector. And as I entered the building, it wasn't long before I felt that all too familiar sensation of radiation pouring over my body. And then I heard that oh-so-sweet sound, that beeping coming from the detector. Here we go. Throw it in, rush through before it recharges. Got him. Looks like I got a sparkler. This was one of those artifacts that was good and bad to have. On the one hand, it would help resist the electrical anomalies. But on the other hand, it would increase the corrosiveness of acid, which there was plenty of in the zone as well. I guess pick your poison, right? According to my GPS, this compound, this was the place. The tracker and the guy still had not moved. This further reinforced my idea that he was already dead. But the question still remained. From what? What had killed him? Would I encounter the same threat as well? It was best for me to move cautiously. There were plenty of corners and windows for any number of things to be hiding. Anything from mutant dogs to bandits ready to blow my head off. So far, there was no signs of any life. I was unclear whether this was a good omen or a bad one. This place was really starting to fry my nerves. I paused for just a moment to take a quick smoke. There seemed to be plenty of acid around, but no people. Further adding to my questions. What was this guy even doing here? Was there some sort of loot that I don't know about? All these buildings seemed to be empty. This entire complex seemed to be destroyed and abandoned. Yet there's a single light on at the top of those stairs. How is this even possible? Could there still be electricity running? And there was my guy, just as I had thought, dead. A pack of dogs. But what killed the dogs? I mean, yeah, he could have done it. Killed them up close, maybe stabbed them. But both of them? Or had something else killed them? Finding this guy did not help that sinking, uneasy feeling I was getting in the pit of my stomach. Something wasn't right here. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I took what I could from the dogs, and then grabbed Sidrovich's package. It was time to go. Thank God for that. I don't know how much longer my sanity could last here. But as I started to leave, I noticed that light. And for some reason, I seemed to be drawn to it. What the fuck was that? All the color in the world seemed to fade from my eyes. What the hell was I walking into? Chase! Oh, fuck me. Ow! Ah, shit. I turned to make sure whatever this thing was, it wasn't following me. It looked pretty clear. But for some reason, all of a sudden I had this urge to go back in, fight this thing, destroy it. I didn't even know if I could hurt it, let alone kill it. But anger swelled up within me. This was what I had to do. I needed to kill it. Was I really missing all of my shots? Or does this thing just not die? Damn it. Maybe the spread from buckshot hit this thing. I was really starting to think I made a mistake. I chose to step into an unwinnable fight. No, not today. One way or another, this thing is gonna die. All of a sudden, it exploded into an eruption of blood. Blood that gently floated to the ground like petals in the wind. Shit, I wasn't sure I was gonna make it through that one. Now it was time to reap the spoils. That thing had to be guarding something, right? I headed back to the apartment complex and began to search each room. This room had been picked clean. Same was true for this room. All except for a radio that didn't work. And one by one I searched each room. And every single one of them was empty. They had been picked clean long ago. I continued my search in the next building over, and instantly regretted my decision. My head was in a fog. My heart began to pound. The world started swirling around me. I wasn't sure what was going on. I just knew I had to get out of there, and quick. The whispering in my ears was a bad sign. I had to get out of here. The job was done. All I had to do was get back to Sidrovich. I guess that's easier said than done. There was an overwhelming feeling of relief as I got back to the cordon area of the zone. The sky had cleared up and the birds were chirping. The euphoria of it all was intoxicating. I had not felt this good, this happy in weeks, if not months. Certainly the most happy I'd felt since I entered the zone. It's a funny thing, the zone. A depressing, oppressive thing, filled with death and misery. It was cold, wet, and dreary most days. And yet days like today exemplified the beauty of the zone. Wolf had called it an incredible place, one he couldn't seem to leave. All these people, all these stalkers came here for one reason or another. But I guarantee you their life has not gotten better here in the zone. At least not in the face of it. It is a hard, miserable experience. But I do tend to agree with them. This place was incredible. The things you could do and see. Unlike anywhere else in the world. And I had only scratched the surface of it all. For the first time in a long time, I felt peace. I felt at home. I felt hope. The future was going to be a bright one. I knew this now.
Hey, Stalker. What do you need?
The job's done. Here's your package.
Thank you, Stalker. Here's your reward.
Thanks. So I sold all the loot and artifacts I had collected on the journey. Even here, cash was king. As I left the bunker, my mind started wandering back to this S.T.A.L.K.E.R guy. He seemed to be the one guy who knew the secrets of the zone. The one guy that had truly mastered it. I was starting to think it was time to track him down and find out what the zone was truly all about.